Hi, I'm Phoebe. Welcome back to the Backlog Quest. This is my weekly accountability stream, or what should be a stream this week is recorded and then will be uploaded, but I have no plans to go and edit this like I have done with my other recordings. So my reason for not streaming is that my last 2 weeks of attempted streams, I've lost half of the recordings, half of what I've done when it's gone live. Every single week, it just spent the whole time buffering. The other weeks, it went and had the audio at the end, but it wasn't. But if you're watching it live, you wouldn't have been able to see anything because it just buffered the entire time. So, yeah, this week I've just given up. I've got rain. That slows my internet down whenever it rains. So I'm not even going to bother trying to stream. It's also trying to storm. It's storming in the direction where if I get lightning strike, it will send my power out. So I don't even know if I'll be able to upload this tonight, but I'm going to try and upload this tonight. So I have got recordings of my other live streams. I just want to go and edit all the ones for January together into one compilation together and put audio transcriptions on there or subtitles on all my videos because that's what I'm going through and doing at the moment. So I haven't been doing many of the other videos that I've got planned to do yet because I'm focusing on getting the back end of my channel all working first. And then once the back end's working and once I've got everything sorted out that I want to do with my channel, hopefully it'll be smoother going forward. But I still want to do these every Wednesday, whether they're live or not. So it will just really depend on my internet connection to what I do. So let's go with what I've been reading and watching and playing this week. So I have finished, I can't remember if this was this week or last week because I didn't record when I finished things. And audiobook-wise, I finished Doctor Who, 12 Doctors, and I went and grabbed a phone so I could go check my audio. So I went and grabbed my phone so I could go check my audio and audiobooks and Kindle books that I've read this week. And I went and grabbed my new phone that is not logged into Audible and Kindle yet. So I've now got my old phone. So on Kindle, I have finished Doctor Who, 12 Doctors. Oh yes, I had finished that last week because I remember I was talking about the fact that Ian Colfer took me out of my immersion for the first Doctor when he said the word David, and I mentioned how far into the book I got before I got to stories that I hadn't actually listened to, so that was last week, but I hadn't started anything new on Audible yet, so I have started the Dragoneer Saga Confliction Compendium. I think it says Compendium. And I'm currently listening to the first Dragoneer, and it's by M.R. Matheist. And I've got it on Audible, but I've listened to, where am I up to? I'm on the 32nd chapter at the moment. I don't know whether that's still the first book or not. Because I don't think the Audible, even though it's a few books in one, no, it doesn't go and split it up, so I don't know whether I'm still on the first book or not, but it's narrated by Christine, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Padovan, I don't know how to pronounce that. Her narration is so bland. I actually thought that I'd return this Kindle book because I couldn't. I got the first time I tried to listen to it was a couple of years ago, and it's the only audiobook that I have returned, if I did return it, but for some reason it's still on my Kindles. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe I didn't return it like I thought I did, or maybe they let me keep it even though I tried to return it. It's the only thing I've ever tried to return. I just could not stand it, but I went and bought the Kindle ebook version of this book, and it's like, because this narrator is so bland. If you've ever seen the series Daria, think of that monotone Daria voice, except worse. That's what this woman's like. And when she tries to give emotion to certain characters, it's just, I really can't stand this narrator. It's just a case of I'm now listening to it to get it into my completion pile, and I'm reading it, listening to it on double speed. So I did try to listen to it a bit faster than double speed, but I was having a little bit of issues understanding her when I put it up that bit further. So at first I was understanding it just fine, and then when she got to other characters and was trying to do other voices for them, I could no longer understand her at that speed. So I went and turned the speed back down to double speed, which is what I've been listening to most things at recently. Kindle-wise, I have finished... my Kindle's not loading. There we go. Where's my book? Oh, there we go. I've gone and finished Resistance by Jennifer A. Nielsen. She's written quite a few dystopian books, that science fiction set in the future dystopian books that I like. This is one of her historical books. She seems to write her historical novels for that middle grade audience, and she seems to write her dystopian for that young adult audience. And I really like the differences between her middle grade books and her young adult books. And I like her difference between historical and science fiction, fantasy stuff. She's one of the authors that does a real done job at both. So Resistance is fictionalized World War II. It's set in Poland, and it's about a Jewish Polish girl who goes between, is a courier for the resistance, and trying to bring freedom back to the Polish people. So she's tried to... So she's fictionalized real events. Most of the people in the book are fictionalized, but at the very end she says which characters are real people from history, and which ones are completely fictionalized. So I really enjoyed that book. And I haven't started anything new on my Kindle yet, but I do have a series picked out when I find it. Second Born series book 2 and 3 are the next books I have planned. So Second Born is the name of the first book, Traitor Born is the name of the second book, and where are your third book? And Rebel Born is the name of the third book. First book is about second born daughter to a really well-off family. Her family clan is the Swords, so Stars are the only other clan that I remember at the moment. But think of Divergent and Hunger Games, with the different villages and towns have different personalities and different things they value. So I'm pretty sure the Stars are technology based, and the Swords are fighting based. So she's this... families are allowed to have a... it's like their first child is an heir, and they get a microchip, which they call a Mokia, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, which goes underneath their skin. And if they're a firstborn child, it glows gold underneath their skin with the shield of whatever clan or village city town thing they've been born into. And Silver, if they're a second-born spare child, and there's at a certain point that the second-born children get sent away to pretty much be slaves and military, it's like sent into the worst of war that's going on. It's like, so pretty much suicide bombers go send them into somewhere not expecting to come out alive type of things. So high-tech, it's a high-tech world, futuristic. So it's main character, I can't remember her name. She's the second child in her family, and she's actually the stronger child in her family, and there's a lot of people that don't want her brother to take over her clans, so they're trying to put her in power. And I really enjoyed the first book, and I pre-ordered the second and the third book before they even came out. I just hadn't had time to read them when they had came out, and I wasn't really in a dystopian mood by the time they came out. So I'm going to read both of them now, and I'm hoping that I enjoy them just as much as I enjoyed the first book. So they're young adult books, and I don't know whether they're traditionally published or self-published, and I don't know that about most of my books, but considering they're young adult based, I think they're traditionally published. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to look it up, but the author of that book is Amy A. Bartle, and that will be my next Kindle read. Physical books, I haven't finished anything else. I thought I would be finished 97 Random Thoughts About Life, Love and Relationships by Justin Lukadu. I've been on it for about 3 weeks now, and it will probably still take me another week to read. It's like, even though it's a real thin book with about, where are you? It doesn't say how many pages are in this book. And he started counting back. There's about 200-ish pages in this book, and it's just taking a real long time to read. So I am enjoying it so far, but a lot of it is set in... So as someone who grew up in the era that this was written in, it is very of the 2000s. Just some of the slang words that he uses and just the way he talks. I don't know if kids today talk that way anymore, but it's just... It feels of its time with certain wordings. Like, I think it would need an update for today to be... for some of the things to be relevant. Other things would stay relevant no matter what, but there's a few of them in here that it feels like the words need to be changed to be relevant to today's teenager. And I'm still reading George R.R. Martin's A Clash of Kings. And as for purchases this week, I did make a purchase. I've been trying not to, but I keep failing. And that purchase is Disney's Aladdin, Far From Agrabah, an original tale by Aisha Saeed? S-A-E-E-D. So, Seed? I don't know how to pronounce names. So, Aladdin is my favourite Disney story from when I was growing up. This book's got about 330 pages. It's 330 pages exactly. It's meant to be a standalone story, but the print is quite large and the spacing between the words is definitely a lot larger than A Clash of Kings, so it should be a pretty quick read. It's a scholastic book, so it's would be a middle grade book, is my guess. And it's got painted type image of the prince and princess from the new live action Disney movie. So it's quite a pretty cover. I quite like it, and you won't see it in this video because this will be just a straight text video, but maybe you'll see it if in a February compilation, if I go put this in a compilation and go put the individual books that I'm talking about up on the screen. But for my weekly streams, oh well, this is not a stream, but for my weekly videos, that will not be going up, but that's what I've added to my backlog. I'm hoping to go get it in between my Game of Thrones books, just so I'm completing it. And book-wise, that's everything I've read and listened to this week. TV-wise, I've finished Ice Road Truckers Season 7, which I have seen before. And I finished Ice Road Truckers Season 8. And I don't know whether to count Season 8 as something I've watched before or a new completion, because I know I've seen the last 2 episodes, and I know I've seen at least one other episode in the middle of the season, but I don't remember the start of the season, and I don't remember most of the other episodes. So, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. How I'm going to count that. I haven't started Season 9 yet, which is one of my purchases for January. And yeah, I'm just going to continue on with Season 9, 10, and 11 of Ice Road Truckers. I'm hoping to have it finished by the end of the month, so that's a season a week, but I may finish it faster, I may finish it slower. It just depends on how much time after work I get to watch Ice Road Truckers, and if I'm busy on the weekend, to how much I watch on the weekend. Because last week, just gone, I only listened and watched it on the weekend. A lot of the TV shows I listen to more than I watch, and I'm the same way with YouTube. I'll be doing other things like doing cross stitch or colouring in while I've got the TV on for background noise, and I still know what's going on the TV show. But I don't spend a lot of time actually looking at the TV, and I think majority of that comes from the fact that I've suffered from pretty bad migraines. They're light sensitive, and the TV light does trigger them or make them worse. So a lot of times I'm not actually watching the shows that I'm listening to the shows. Gaming wise, I decided I wanted to play The Sims 4 last night. Spent, I don't know how long, downloading patches for it because I hadn't played it in forever. It was one of the games that I had aimed to go finish the base game with no expansions, then install the next expansion, and then finish that, and then install the next one, and I'm still on the base game. So, and instead of continuing on with my character that I'm doing everything with, I went and created my pirate characters from the book that I'm writing at the moment, which was very hard with the base game because there was not very many era-appropriate clothing. So I need to see if I can find my copy of Sims Medieval and go play that. I never got the expansion pack for that, and I thought it was a pirate-based expansion, but I could be wrong. But I really need to go track down my missing expansion for The Sims Medieval, because at the time I wasn't interested in, even though I enjoyed The Sims Medieval the most out of the Sims story games, I wasn't interested in following them like the main Sim games. So playing The Sims 4 just makes me want to play The Sims 3, and I can't play The Sims 3 at the moment because the laptop that I've got The Sims 3 on needs a new CMOS battery and new RAM, and that is only if I've gone, it's like it definitely needs a CMOS battery. It does need new RAM, but I don't know if there's any other issues with it or not. I don't know whether I've gone and fried more equipment by having it plugged in during thunderstorms, because it started playing up around the same time as my main PC did, which blew up in a thunderstorm, which I still have not replaced. I still don't know whether I go try and rebuild it or not. Yeah, so I don't know whether I'll continue on playing any games this week because my main focus at the moment is getting my channel, both my channels in order, because I have a second channel where I talk about my writing, and my focus at the moment is getting my channels in order. And what I want to do with my channels is have thumbnails done in advance, because I've been very guilty of putting a video out with no thumbnail and updating it way later. And I want to put subtitles on everything, so trying to subtitle videos at the moment. I've done the first 5, I think, on this channel at the moment. I can't even check because YouTube's gonna log me out on this computer. And the other computer that's not logged out on is not connected up to the internet. So yeah, that's where I am with my backlog at the moment, and I hope to be back next week. I hope for it to be live, but since my internet hasn't been cooperating, it will probably be done like this. So I'll see you next time with hopefully more items from my backlog completed. Thank you for joining me on this backlog quest.